What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and today I am doing NBA Midseason Awards. We're slightly over halfway done with the season, which is crazy to say. I think it's a good time to do Midseason Awards. Now, technically, it would have been a better time if I did this a week ago, but I'm doing it right now. I think it's a pretty good time. I also have to finish my tier list ranking starting positions. I did like ranking players tier lists. Those are my last 4 videos. You can definitely check those out after this one. And I have to do my centers, the last part, which I kind of completely forgot about. Before we start the mid-season awards, the award ceremony, in my eyes, I'm not awarding Coach of the Year. I just couldn't. I couldn't really decide what criteria to do here, and I'm not awarding Coach of the Year. And second, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Oh, it turns out 99.3% of you guys watching aren't even subscribed, and that is a lot. Like a lot of people, except for the 31 people that are subscribed, which I respect you guys a ton. If you want to be part of that category, you should definitely subscribe. And if you don't, your favorite team is not winning the NBA championship. Now, for some of you, you might have already known that if you're like a Magic fan, Pistons fan, even a Celtics fan like I am, because I know we aren't winning the championship this year. But now there's no chance if you don't subscribe. Now, without further ado, already took up 90 seconds of your time. Let's just get it right into it. We're going to start off with the 6th man of the year, probably the least talked about, least rewarded award, but it's still extremely important because bench production is important. And this one was hard to come up with, but just how to determine it. My criteria was you have to come off the bench, you have to play at least 30 games, and you have to come off the bench at least 60% of the time. Both of those things fit my 6th man of the year. Tyler Hero. He is the leading scorer off the bench to play the bench most of the games, and he did start a couple games, but he's played mostly on the bench. He's averaged 20 points a game on his best efficiency, and I just love to see it because he had a crazy bubble series against the Celtics, and I really, even though he was schooling the Celtics, I really did like him. I really thought he could be something. And then in the last year, he kind of let down a really bad playoff series against the Bucks. He's earned his redemption, and I think this is the role for him, coming off the bench, being that Lou Williams type of player that, Lou Williams was a 20-point scorer multiple times off the bench. So just because you're off the bench does not mean that you aren't a starting quality player. And Tyler Hero's playing starting quality minutes. And the thing about him is Jimmy Butler's been out with COVID for I can't say that. Health and safety protocols. I'm going to hope that this video does not get taken down. Health and safety protocols. Bam Adebayo entered health and safety protocols. He was their main offensive weapon, and he still held it down. Miami is sitting at the 2 seed right now with everything that they've gone through. And one of the biggest reasons I like is because their depth. Yurtseven, Gabe Vincent, PJ Tucker has just been incredible this season, just being that guy. And in my opinion, I don't think there's anyone that really comes that much close to him. He is the heavy favorite right now, not really that close. But it's kind of hard to qualify him as the 6th man of the year because he did start a ton of games. So, but personally, he's just my 6th man of the year. Also, one more thing I want to point out about Tyler Hero. At the point guard position, he was not a good point guard. And even though I still don't like him as a point guard, and y'all got Kyle Lowry, the little minutes that he did play point guard, he has definitely improved it. Now let's move on to the runner-ups. My 2 runner-ups in the 6th man of the year race is Kelly Oubre and Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons was kind of hard to pick just because of the fact that he's had his stretch. I love that he's getting recognition, not just being a backup guard to Dame, young backup guard, but now just being people looking at him as a future star, which is he? You tell me. And he's averaged 22 points a game as a starter, 22 plus around that area. He's had so the first game I really watched that I really got to see Anthony Simons was his first, or I don't know if it was his first, but the first game where he actually had to stretch against the Hawks. And even though there was nothing crazy enticing about the game, the thing that enticed me was the fact that there would be absolutely no defense. It would be an offensive crazy game. Trae Young had 56, a career high. He was incredible that game. And Anthony Simons had 43, and I'm like, this dude can ball. And now he's had a little streak, and he's finally getting the good recognition. However, he's only started 11 of the 38 games that he's played, which means he is technically a bench player. And his average right now is like 15 points a game, but he's only averaging 12.1 off the bench. But it's still like we have to consider the totality of the season, just the totality of the season, and if they played most of their games off the bench, which is the exact same thing for Anthony Simons. But that dude's a baller. I love Anthony Simons. I think he can be really good. There's some shipments between him and the 76ers. What's that going to look like? But is he the future of the Trailblazers? You let me know down in the comments. And right now, Anthony Simons also, when he is off the court, the team is a -5. When he's on the court, he's a +7, which basically means point differential in his current streak. And next up, Kelly Oubre, who I think is not getting enough recognition for how good he's playing. I have him on my fantasy team. He's been clutch. And this season, he is not as used as he is in previous years. He's more than just a spot-up shooter, but he's averaging like 8 attempts a game, and he's shooting 37%. It's a career-high three-point attempts at an above-average clip. And he's had his ability to go off any night if he makes his shots, he's a decent finisher. His defense has not been as there. He's not a great playmaker, but when he makes his shots, the dude can go off for 30 any night. He's had 3 30-point games this season off the bench. He's almost averaging 17 a game off the bench, which is still no one's getting recognition. But the thing about Kelly Oubre that I find really interesting is he plays starter minutes, 34 minutes a game, top 20 in the league, but he's coming off the bench for most of his years. But those are my 2 runner-ups. I still think Tyler Hero's got this in the bag, but I just want to give a quick shout-out to those 2 players for balling out this season. Next up is my most improved player, and this one, you know how the most improved player has always been like a hard toss-up, like Brandon Ingram, Bam Adebayo. Last year I guess it was Julius Randle. This year it's so easy. No debate. Ja Morant. Shout out Ja Morant. He's leading the Memphis Grizzlies above all expectations. The 3 seed right now, and he's leading their offense in every way possible. Playmaking. He's showtime. He's fun to watch. He's one of the best finishers in the league. He's like top 5 in points in the paint, and the rest of the guys are like Giannis, Jared Allen, Rudy Gobert, guys like that. He's 6'3", and he's in that category. That just shows you how fearless this man is, and I just love watching Ja Morant. I think he's improvement going from about 19 points to 25 points, about 4 rebounds to 6 rebounds, and then 7 assists. And he's shooting a career high in 3-point attempts and 35% average clip. And one thing that I think a lot of people are saying about Ja Morant is MVP. Is he the MVP? And I don't know. He's not in my MVP runner-ups or my MVP. I might have just spoiled it for you, but he isn't. However, he is playing kind of like it in some cases. A lot of the good reason is because in the bet, he shines in the spotlight. In the biggest games, he is there. He is fun to watch, and he is just a crowd pleaser. And I actually do like to see Memphis because I love Memphis with him and just their core in general. One of my better predictions going into the season was I just had a feeling that Memphis will be a top 6 seed and avoid the play-in or not make the playoffs. I did not expect them to be this good. A huge reason goes out to Ja Morant and another guy that I'm going to talk about a little later. But it's been Ja Morant. We all talked about the whole, better without him, then goes on 11-game winning streak, 20-6 in December and January. He's definitely my most improved player. Should be yours. If you have anyone else, drop it down in the comments. Where does Ja Morant stand in your MVP race? Let's go to the runner-ups, which are his teammate Desmond Bane and DeJounte Murray. Desmond Bane has had an incredible sophomore jump, going from about 9 points to almost 18 points a game. He's averaging 7 attempts from 3 on 42%. You don't know how crazy that is. On a better free throw percentage than Steph Curry. I just want to say that. And he's only a sophomore, and usually second-year players don't get it. And personally, his teammate has just taken the roof at the most improved player race, but he definitely deserves some recognition for how good Memphis is playing. Everyone does. Everyone's just been playing so good for Memphis. And one thing that people don't realize about Desmond Bane is that he was one of the main options during that win streak without Moran, and he was one of their main options. And I also found out that he has a positive plus minus in the last 13 games, which just shows that when he's on the court, the team is extremely better, and he just helps one of the best teams in the league do his thing. And sometimes he plays like a role player. Sometimes he can score in bunches as he wants to. I would love to have a guy like Desmond Bane on his team, and every NBA team would probably love that too. Can't believe my Celtics passed on this guy. I guess we can't. I can't believe we traded the pick. That's just. I mean, I don't blame him. It's just that he kind of bugs me, right? Then DeJounte Murray. I think he was the most improved player before John Moran had his streak. He's just improved every part in his game, and he's not on like a big franchise like San Antonio. However, going from 15-7-6 to 19-8-8, DeJounte was always a very solid point guard, above average, but going from 19-8-8, which is there's not many players in the league that's been averaging that. That's been crazy. Went from a decent playmaker to top 5 in assists just like that, which is probably the biggest reason why he's even in a runner-up or even in the conversations. And 8 triple-doubles this season. And the Spurs, I mean, the 10 seed's kind of open in the West. Spurs still got that playing chance. I don't know if they're going anywhere. Can't count Popovich out, and he's the lead guy for potentially a team that is trying to make the play-in because I believe they have the potential. Moving on to the Rookie of the Year. My Rookie of the Year is Evan Mobley, and this is a toss-up. This was a toss-up between him and Scottie Barnes earlier. I'm giving it to Mobley. The Cavs have made tremendous improvements, going from one of the worst teams in the league to a very competent team in the Eastern Conference. Mobley has been, when people say all defensive as a rookie, they are not kidding with you. He's been everywhere on defense, been their best defensive player. And offense, he's so intriguing because he can handle the ball kind of. He doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but he's got a little, like, he can kind of, like, play in the post and also got that little, like, floater game near the free throw line where he can just float it up, which is not kind of unheard of for a 7-footer. We're getting more of those, but it's kind of unheard of. And I just think that he beats the competition because of how much he's impacted the Cleveland Cavaliers turnaround. And I don't think any rookie has done that to the degree that Evan Mobley has. But they're this rookie class is so impressive. But Evan Mobley, personally, he's my Rookie of the Year. If you guys have someone else, just let me know. I couldn't be mad at you, but I have Evan Mobley. My runner-ups, though, 2 guys that can make a legit argument for it's Cade Cunningham and Scottie Barnes. Cade has played himself into this race. First overall pick, kind of started in a slump, and then has played himself into this race. He's averaging about, I think, 16 points a game. His efficiency has improved. Pistons are still not that good, but, like, he has been improved. And, you know, he might be number 1 in some eyes. I can't even be mad at you at that point. And then Scottie Barnes, talk about all around. Talk about how surprising this dude has been. Defensively, he is great. Offensively, you know, he can do a little bit of everything. And he gives the Raptors hope. And the Raptors are actually a playing team right now. I can't lie. Raptors are a lot better than I thought they were. I've never been the biggest Raptors guy. I've never been the biggest Raptors fan. I just don't really know why. So I never really used to be like, I never had anything against the Raptors, but for some reason, and I don't know if Raptors fans feel the same way, but after that 7-game series in the bubble, I kind of got bad blood with the Raptors. And I just didn't want to see them succeed. But I can't lie, the Raptors' future is looking really bright right now. And the Raptors are like Pascal Siakam's picked it up. Fred VanVleet is playing like an all-star this season. Put him in your all-star ballot like right now. Put Freddie in your all-star ballot. But Scottie Barnes is still the future. He's not getting as much media attention right now, but he's still having a really solid season, even though it's not like how he started. Next up, we got the Defensive Player of the Year. My Defensive Player of the Year is Draymond Green. He has missed a little bit of time recently. That does not change the fact that he is the Defensive Player of the Year. Let me just read this to you. I don't care about the stats when it comes to Draymond. I don't care that he's not averaging Rudy Gobert, Miles Turner number of blocks, or Marcus Smart Asterisk number of steals. I don't even look at the advanced stats. Advanced stats are overrated in my opinion. I think you got to look at the eye test when you talk about players. And you want to bring up advanced stats? I can't really do it honestly. So I'm just gonna look at this. The Warriors are the best defense in the league, and if you watch the Warriors with Draymond Green, it makes a ton of sense. And recently, the times he's been out, they are 2-4. They have not looked good. People are saying the Warriors are falling off. Draymond Green has not been there. He has just not been there because not only is he such a good defensively, but he's like their defensive coordinator. He is the on-court coach. He is the leader, and he can guard 1 through 5, and he can stick up on a man if he wants to. There's nothing. This guy, like man-to-man defense, is really what you think about. It should be the rewarding factor for the defensive player of the year. That's not all Draymond Green does. So yes, he might not be the best overall defender, but this year he's the defensive player of the year, best one-on-one defender, which he is actually up there, honestly. And don't get me wrong, Draymond Green's not just a defender. He can do so much more, and I'll definitely talk about his offense later because that's not what we're focusing on here. But with him, just stats don't matter. Just watch him. Watch how he plays. Watch how the team is without him, giving up 114 points a game in his injury compared to 102. Just saying, Draymond Green makes this Warriors team click. The team is nowhere near as good without Draymond Green. Draymond Green is your defensive player of the year. But my runner-ups, 2 former winners. I don't really have to explain these guys, Giannis and Rudy Gobert. We all know how good these guys defensively are, leading their teams to one of the best defenses in the league. Their interior presence is Giannis can play great help defense. We all know how good these guys are defensively. We all know that a big part of their game and why they are all-stars comes on the defensive end. So now we're going to go into the big award, the most valuable player. Give me Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, this has been I made a video about 2 months ago, maybe a month, 2 months ago, about how interesting the MVP race is. It has not been as interesting. It is Giannis Antetokounmpo's award to lose right now. And it was Steph Curry's award, and then he lost it because he's been on a slump. But let me just read this. Giannis averaging 28.6 points a game, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 53.3% field goal percentage. His three-point percentage hasn't really improved, but he doesn't need that. And the thing is, the team is 12 points better with him on rather than off the court. So, when he's on the court compared to when he's off, there's a 12.2 point difference. The Bucks are 28-19, only 1 game back from the first seed in the Eastern Conference, even though technically they're the 4th seed. They're only a game back from the first seed. And they're 17-4 when Giannis, Jrue Holiday, and Chris Middleton play, and every MVP needs their 2 best players to win games, and they're 17-4, which is absolutely remarkable. Giannis Antetokounmpo is having as good of a season as he normally does. And if you don't have him as the MVP, I'm completely fine with that. I just personally think that there's not been anyone that's more valuable than Giannis, even though there's been these next 3 runner-ups I'm going to show you are extremely close, so valuable to their teams, but so is Giannis. But I also have a hot dark horse in here. So my runner-ups, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, kind of expected, 2 best centers in the league, been balling out recently. Give me Trae Young in the MVP conversations. I'm going to explain that, but Nikola Jokic, dude just dropped 50 points, basically, 49, 14, and 10. He's averaging 26 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, 57% from the field, 37% from 3, 80% from the line as a center. Remarkable. Also, best passing big man of all time. I think we can all agree on that right now. 11 defensive rebounds per game. I just love about Jokic. Every single year, he takes a new step to his game. Now, you might be like, what step has he taken that's different from this year? His rebounding. His rebounding has been so much better this year. He leads the league in triple-doubles. And the crazy part about Nikola Jokic is that they almost leaned to him was a plus 21.9 on versus off the court. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's unheard of. I've never seen anything like it. I just gave it to Giannis. Now, if you have Jokic would probably be my number 2 right now. Actually, it's a toss-up, honestly. Embiid is also balling out right now. Nuggets are 23-20. I'm not blaming that much on Jokic. You heard the on-off. You heard the injuries. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., PJ Dozier, even a role player like PJ Dozier can do wonders to a team that's as mediocre as they are right now. Joel Embiid is having a stellar season, 28 points, about 11 rebounds. His post playmaking has improved immensely, 4 assists a game, career high. 49% from the field, 38% from three, career high, and 82% from the line, career high. 1.4 blocks. We know how good he is defensively, similar to like Giannis or Rudy. Don't really have to explain that much. And he is a plus 10.6 on off. And the 76ers are 26 and 18, which is still really solid, despite without the Ben Simmons only 2.5 games back from the first seed, just up 50, and he's literally carrying this team. If anyone is carrying their team, it is Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. But you can make that same argument for Trae Young, too. Trae Young, statistically, has been dominant, 28 points and 9.5 assists, but I'm not looking at just the statistics. When I watched it, the Hawks can't do anything without Trae Young, and I refuse to believe that his on-off is only plus 4.7. That's still really good, but I refuse to believe that. He literally is their offense. There is not a money possession that go by where Trae Young doesn't create a bucket for himself or finds the open man. One of the best scorers, one of the best dimers, 46% from the field, career high, 37% from 3 on 7.5 attempts, which is a career high in both, 91% from the line, one of the best free throw shooters in the league. And clutch, he is amazing. If you're MVP, you gotta be clutch, and all of these guys are really clutch. Hawks only 19 and 25. They've dealt with their health and safety protocol-ish. But Trae Young, this team is like with DeLon Wright on the court. It's hard to watch. Trae Young makes this team click, even if they lose. His defense, though, kind of holds him back from the MVP. I know I've taken up a lot of your guys' time with this. It's almost about 22 minutes. But thank you guys so much for watching these Midseason Awards. This could change. It's not my predictions. It's just right now. This could change by the end of the season. Most of these actually are my predictions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.